I am
Yippee.
going to redo this entire presentation because I forgot to record it the first time.
Hooray.
This is my talk about digital media in photography. And especially how photography has impacted me as a person, because it really has. So we're going to start up with a brief. Photography has evolved incredibly throughout the decades, from bulky setups that take hours to a single photo for a single photo to handheld devices that snap pictures in seconds. The importance of these technological advancements are seen everywhere, with photography going from a niche to something nearly everyone with a computer or phone has dabbled in at least once. Also, I think I used niche wrong in this fucking essay, but that's fucking okay. I'm gonna swear a lot, I'm sorry. Even if not using the same artistic intention as true photography. But as with all inventions, there are downsides to this. Nothing is ever just black and white, not even a colorless photo. Photography first started in the 4th century, with cameras that could only project images onto a surface rather than capture said image. As technology advanced, especially in the 14th century, the camera obscura was invented, which served as a basis for how cameras would be innovated in the future. With time, cameras will continue to evolve and develop with the time and technological advancements, though photography wasn't common until the early 1900s, having only been used by professional artists and scientists. Social media has greatly affected how we view internet photography in the modern day. From helping photographers from across the globe get together to showing aspiring photographers' ideas, it has definitely revolutionized the society of photography. So, what's good about this? Well, for starters, the way it's affected me. And I'm gonna get into that in a moment. But what's especially good about this is the way it has helped people join together and do incredible things. It's gotten people who need to go, like, put their art in galleries but can't afford a gallery to post their work on the internet and get more traction. And for people in galleries, the internet has absolutely helped give those galleries more stuff. It's made photography a much more popular deal. It's also helped get people who have artistic ideals in both photography and art itself do incredible things. People can now put art and photography together the way you could before, but now digital, which means that it reaches more people, which is an incredibly powerful thing. I am currently taking a photography class, which is what this slide was originally made for. Photography has impacted me so much. It initially seems like such a fickle thing, such an unimportant thing. I could just take a picture with my phone. Why would I need a photography class? I can make myself look good with a selfie. Why take a photography class? But I can say, personally, that I think everybody should take a photography class at least once. It can change your life. It can change the way you see your everyday mundane actions. Taking a screenshot in a video game, taking a selfie, taking photos of random plants you see on the road. Knowing the basics of photography can make it so much more enjoyable, knowing that you're doing a photo artistically every time. Photography changed me. Photography, for me, when I took my photography class, it reassured me that what I was doing right, that I was doing correctly. When I first started doing my photography class, I was really, nervous. Like, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? But as I learned more and more about photography, I became so much more confident in my work. I learned how to take inspirational shots that can change someone's worldview. I learned how to take shots that are just beautiful in general. I learned wholeheartedly how photography can change a person. I got really interested in photography. I got so fucking interested in photography. I started looking at photography books. I started looking at just literal books about people's photos, and they have little, like, blurbs in the photos about the context behind them and the person who wrote them, who took the photos, and they write stuff about them, and I was so interested. There's this book, and the name of the book is really funny. Like, really funny. It's images of cabins and the insides of cabins, and the book is called Cabin Porn. It's not porn, it's just really nice images of cabins with the whole subtitles about the cabins and who made them and the story behind the making of the cabins. And it is such a nice photography book. I picked it up during class and I found that after reading a couple pages, I just wanted to keep reading more. So now, whenever I have free time in that class, I'm gonna start reading cabin porn. My photography teacher is the best teacher I've ever had in my life. Super caring, despite the fact he's really goofy in class. His class is metal as fuck. Like he's like got full on death metal posters in there. He's a really cool guy. I cannot he's such a teacher. I love my teacher so much. But his lectures have changed the way I viewed photography as a whole. Again, photography went from some casual thing to something I genuinely enjoy. It went from, oh, I just sometimes take photos to, hold on, I want to take photos everywhere I go. I want to see how good of a photo I can get. I want to go out, I want to explore, and I want to take photos of these places I've explored at. Whenever he took our class on a field trip to go somewhere, he took us hiking this one time to this incredibly high uphill. It was incredible. It's one of the most enjoyable hikes I've ever been on, because I could take this professional camera and snap beautiful shots of this cliffside. I've had such an incredible outlook on nature because of photography. I've had an incredible outlook on people because of photography. I've had an incredibly eye-opening thing about how media affects us because of photography. It sounds insane. It genuinely sounds batshit insane that photography, of all things, could influence me like this, could change me like this, could make me see the world so differently. That a camera did that. That a movie about Kevin Hearn's photo of the little girl and the vulture could impact me like that. Like, they're just photos, right? No, it's so much more than a photo. It's a story. It's a story, and it's up to interpretation. And that leads into the bad. One of my most influential photos in my class came from a sanctuary called Lions, Tigers, and Bears. An incredible project. They don't abuse any other animals. All their animals are rescues from places like the exotic animal trade, circuses, and stuff like that. All their animals there are incredible, and unfortunately they are unable to release these animals into the wild, either due to contact with previous owners and humans, injuries, or behavioral issues in the animals that keep them from being released. So instead, they keep them in these enclosures that basically are the exact same to how they would live in the wild, with very limited human interaction, basically none. The only interaction is to drop food in the enclosure and leave. Or if the animal needs treatment for its health, they are going to carefully lead it into a place where they can politely put the animal to sleep, do their surgery or whatever, put the animal back in. The animal never knows that it came into contact with a person. And that is incredible. That is an incredible thing, to keep these animals isolated from humans like they should be. Because these are lions, tigers, and bears. And keeping them away from human contact is important for the sanctuary to do what they need to do. Having said that, the photo I took was of a little lion cub. Or was it a tiger? I think it was a tiger, actually. I'm fucking stupid. It was a tiger cub. And this cub was clawing, it was like pawing at its cage playfully, playing with the bars, and I snapped a photo. I snapped a photo through the gate because the people are pretty far away from the animals to keep minimum contact. And I went up, I snapped a photo of it in its play cage. And from the photo's position, it looks like the little cub is trying to escape. With the context of the situation, it was not. However, This is what is bad about photography. Photography is very interpretive to the people around it. If my photo got out there and I didn't have the context for it, someone could take that photo and say that this sanctuary was abusing the animals, and people would believe it. Someone could edit the photo to make it more dramatic looking. I've done that myself. I did it myself to prove to my class that this photo can be used for bad. This is the bad side of photography, especially in the digital age. Anything you take a photo of can be used against you. Anything that photo's in can be used against that. Photos can be used as a weapon. And it's something that we have to accept as a society, and something that we have to adapt to as well. You see these photos on like Facebook and stuff saying, oh, this poor creature here, and then you later learn that it was actually not just something, it's just cancel culture stuff. It's a big example of how you can make a photo spiral out of control. You can make a narrative that isn't true out of something so minuscule as a photo. That photo I took is one of my most influential ones in my school year. It is my prized possession and a big weapon. There are other issues in photography like this. Deepfakes, AI, editing of photos. You see it a lot. People will edit screenshots to make themselves seem more high and mighty than others. People will edit photos to take people out or put them in positions that they're not actually in. The better you are at editing these photos, the better you are at writing a narrative using photography, you have a lot more power. And that's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. We can adapt to this, however, as a society, I do believe. Improving our critical thinking, for starters. Don't believe what you see through a photo. Don't listen to what people are trying to tell you about a photo. Come up with the idea yourself. Think about the artist's intent, is something that my teacher taught me. When you look at a photo, think about what the artist behind the photo intends for you to feel. Think about how it makes you feel. Think about if the way you feel matches how the artist wants you to feel. And most of all, be wary of what you see on the internet. The internet is a very influential place. You can reach so many people from millions of different areas, more than you could originally before the internet. Which makes it incredible, but it also makes it all that more dangerous. With the evolution of our internet and social media, it's a double-edged blade. You wield the blade at others, but at the same time, with the click of a camera shutter, you can create something so powerful, yet so seemingly unimportant. Which is why and how photography changed my outlook on life entirely. If your entire perspective can be changed with something as small as a photo of a tiger cub, what else is influencing you? Propaganda is everywhere. Photos are the biggest way that we spread propaganda. With all of this, with everything, with all this propaganda, it gets so difficult to tell what is real and what is not. What is true, what is false, what is everything. And you start to question yourself. This also deals into the ethicalness, with the ethicality of photography. In photojournalism, it is very important for a photographer in photojournalism to get the right intent out of their photo. It can make or break a career. We watched this movie in my class. It was called The Bang Bang Club. It tells a story of a group of photographers, who are all photojournalists in a conflict, and that movie really helped influence the way I see photography. And I'm really glad that our teacher had us watch the movie as part of our curriculum, because it was so influential to me. It opened everything. It made me realize that conflict is not just the victims. It's the outsiders too. Conflict is not just the press. The moment you have these people going in to take photos of the conflict, and there's all these people and they get hurt, and that's really unfortunate. But it brings in a whole question with the ethicalness of a photo. In these conflicts, when these photographers come in, do you think the people in the conflict want people taking photos of them? In the Bang Bang Club, the movie, there is a scene where some of the people who are part of this conflict are brutally killing a guy, and they light him on fire and they chop him up with a machete, and the protagonist of the movie takes a photo of it. And his photo gets used by the government to essentially demonize the two sides who are fighting in this conflict, which makes both sides pissed off at the photographers. There's another scene where they tell the photographer to stop taking pictures. There's scenes of all these bad aspects of photojournalism that you probably don't think about on a day-to-day basis. I didn't think about them until I watched the movie, and it made me realize photography isn't just the photo. It's the people in the photo, too. It's not just the photographer. It's the people around the photographer. It's who the photographer works for. It's their intent, what they're trying to do, and how easily that can be warped. Photography is not just an art form. Photography is a weapon. And we can change the way photography is seen by the way we use that weapon. We can use that weapon for what we see as good, but for the people getting hurt by that weapon, it's not good for them. It's not. And if we use photography for what we know is bad, that also makes us a villain. There is no winning. There is no winning in photojournalism. You can make a situation more out there. You can do a little bit to help. But if your goal is not to hurt anyone, you're failing in the long run. That is what I have learned. Of course, again, as I've said, nothing is black and white. Nothing. There's always a gray area to this. With the bad and the good, you have the middle ground, where it's a bit of both. Like in the concept of yin and yang, in darkness there is light, and in light there is darkness. There's gonna be a good and a bad to everything. That doesn't mean that photography in itself is bad. There are great things that it does. It helps end conflicts. It helps to make people more open. It helps to open yourself up to others. That doesn't make it bad or good. That makes it powerful. Having said that, here are my sources. Thank you.
Recording right now?
No, I don't want to preview. There you go. Alright. Yes, I am recording now. I keep fucking forgetting to record. Alright. This is my what?
Are you recording?
Shut the fuck up, I'm recording. This is my comprehensive top 25 for my entire school semester. So for my first one, I had a little bug on a flower. It took me 25 tries to get this bug to stay still on this fucking flower. Bug. As you can see, this is a depth of field and a close-up shot with this still. thing here, blurred out background with this being the main focus.
Wait, go back. Is, is that pest on the flower? Okay.
This is my one of my or if not my best shot. This is all these shots are taken by me. This one is also edited by me. I went in the Photoshop, I lightened up these wings to make them more visible, and I heightened the saturation of this beautiful abdomen. I also did a little bit of fine detailing here, here, and around here, just to make the bee pop a little bit more. This is one of the first shots I took during my school semester when I first learned. The moment I learned how to frame a photo, I was set. This has stood the test of time. It is one of the only of my first shots to make it to this list of my 25 best. This is just a casual dandelion, you know? There's an edited version of it, but I don't think it's as good as this. You can see all the seeds of the dandelion standing up here very proudly and very clearly against a sea of green and purples. This is more of an indigo, but, you know, whatever. This one, I just fucking love fucking up. I just love how the background looks on this. And I love how saturated these look. These almost look painted in, but these are real flowers that I was taking pictures of. None of the photos on this list are taken during the golden hour, which is when you should be taking photos, because otherwise things can get a little bit whitewashed, oversaturated, too dark, etc., etc. But it's school day, and I can't come out during golden hour, so can't do that one. That one's censored. This is one of my more recent shots of I think it's a hibiscus flower. It's a little bit blurry around here, but mind you, I'm taking all these shots like in the middle of the day, so I cannot see very well. I cannot see how good the photo's gonna turn out. Everything is a hunch. This is one of my more recent shots. I took this one last week. It's one of the local trees, I think, at my school. I just love how these flowers go from like a pink, like a dark magenta to a pink to an almost white. It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful plant. And here's another photo of that same plant where you can clearly see white to pink, pink to magenta. It's really beautiful.
Magenta reference.
This is another really well framed photo. You can see the flowers here, all their little pollen receptor. I don't know what they're fucking called, man. I did not pass my biology class. You can see all of them, and I compared it a little bit to mistletoe or a wreath because it does remind me of it. Next up, we have this fucking rotary phone. I have an obsession with rotary phones. This is one of my few still life shots. Most of my shots are all nature. But this is one of my few still life shots. And I'm it's meh. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. This is that most influential shot that I mentioned.
He's just a little guy.
He's really just a little guy. You can kind of tell that it's not that the guy isn't trying to escape, but when I showed this to a lot of people, they thought that he was. And to accentuate that point of it being used for bad, I had gone into Photoshop a while back. Yeah. I'd gone into Photoshop a while back. I had edited the tiger to look a lot darker in color, like less saturated. I had roughed up a few patches in Photoshop of here. Then I made the bars a lot more saturated, a lot brighter to like accentuate them so much. And it made this look so dramatic. It made it look so sad. And that's what I meant by a photo being weaponized. Next up, we have this fucking flower. I fucking love taking pictures of flowers. As you can see all the folds and petals in this flower, and I think that makes it beautiful. This is probably one of my really good shots. It's way up there in my top 5. Again, this is not in any particular order, so keep that in mind. This is a mushroom I found on the floor, and I took a photo of it. This photo, oddly enough, works really well in color and black and white. I put this in black and white, cranked up the saturation of the black and white a little bit, made this pop. This was during my field trip to this hill that we climbed. We went hiking. I can't show the person here because privacy. As you can see, this is not taken during golden hour. It's very whitewashed up here. But I felt the need to include it in here just because it was from that field trip. This is one of my ever edited photos. God damn it. This is one of my ever edited photos. I edited the snail to be a little bit more saturated than normal. That's about it. It's really nice, a lovely depth of field that makes the snail pop out. Your eyes immediately go from here, here. Next up, we have this. This original photo looks really good. If I didn't have this, you'd know. But I took my friend, had him look down a little bit dejectedly. I took a photo. I made his entire body just all grayscale, except for the reflection in his glasses right here. And I kept everything in color, and it looked really good. Can't show it. This is just a fucking orange.
Orange.
This is a still life shot. I thought that this orange popped really well with this background, and it really highlighted the aura of decomposition that this orange is going through. You can see it's browning a little bit. It's got all these little bruises here, and you can see a little bit of plant life going in the background. I think that really makes it highlighted a bit more. This is just some discarded fucking orange. I had to censor this section for privacy. I don't know about this. I think it's just hand, so it'll be fine. I took this shot just because I fucking felt like it. I thought this looked really cool as a shot, seeing my friend hold his camera, like, really professionally. Just a fucking flower, you know? I like flowers. I fucking love taking pictures of them, so I took this one. It's centered in the shot, which is not normally something you should do in photography, oddly enough. It doesn't help your eyes follow it too much. You're already there. It's very in your face. It's probably one of the only very few shots that I have where it's in the middle. Can I show this one? Center for privacy. This one, I love this shot. It's kind of a landscape nature shot. There's no direct focus, but you know that you're supposed to be looking at all of these individual yellow flowers. It's a very pretty shot. Makes me happy to look at. This one really incredibly highlights this flower. No matter where you're looking at initially, drawn to that flower. That is what I love about this shot. It is so incredibly clear what you are meant to be looking at. Oh, you're looking over here, you're gonna get drawn over here. You're looking here, you're gonna get drawn over here. No matter where you look, you're always drawn to that flower. And this one's a bit of a meh. I kind of scraped out on this one, very scraped by. You can see the details of all these little things, but because there's so many, you lose quite a bit of detail. I just needed a 25th shot. Now, these are my bonus screenshots. This is the key detail on when I said that learning photography gave me an outlook on gaming. When I used to take screenshots, I just take screenshots of whatever fuck I was doing, not paying any mind to it. Now when I take screenshots of me in games, I try so hard, incredibly hard, to make sure that the photo I get looks good. Because the better that photo looks, the more fun I look like I'm having in the game. The more happy people are going to be to see me playing that game. This is parroting statements I made earlier. This is all really true. And like I said, down here the following are some of the best pictures I've taken on VR chat. So first off, we've got this. My boyfriend and I started wearing animator versus animation avatars on VR chat. I need to switch myself over real quick.
Actually, you talking about screenshots and video games made me instantly remember that I tried to take on my old Xbox where I had like a whole lot more screenshots, I would like if I could in a game where I could like detail the screenshots in a sense, I would do my best to try to get like a really good shot. And it made me instantly remember of a game which is honestly one of my favorites. Uh, Metro Exodus, not sponsored, not sponsored. Metro Exodus, not sponsored, not sponsored. And the photo I got, it's all right, but I feel like my idea is really just like you can kind of see it. If I could figure out how to be able to send it to myself.
Alright, well, for this section, I want you to tell me what you think is, like, happening in these photos, or, like, what the characters are thinking, because that's what my teacher did, and I want to show you how I was thinking in my class, and how he made us engage. So, Charlie,
Uh,
how does this make you feel?
what is that? I imagine the guy in focus, or maybe the guy out of focus. I don't know. Either or, are just trying to wonder what the other one is doing. That's all I can really make out.
How do you
It's
think
just
this
one
guy
of the
feels using the perspective of the camera?
uh, erase nothing about Mm, I'm honestly not sure at all.
I'd say I framed it to make it look like he feels small.
Actually, yeah, I could see
Which I didn't
because
exactly do. I took this photo to look nice, but looking at it, it makes it put in perspective how small this guy is. And to be fair, this guy was like half the height of the fucking bathtub, so you'd be correct in assuming that he was small, but it's framed
I,
to accentuate how small he looks.
he is mini.
Next up, we have this.
It's a pretty cute looking photo. It's a feeling of accomplishment, I guess. Like you're done after everything, and you just want to look out into the sunset, kind of thing.
That's really nice. I felt a little bit more solemn. Watching the sunset peacefully as you contemplate stuff, but not in a bad way.
Yeah,
Again, nothing I say is like the official artistic intent. All of these were mostly taken just because I wanted a nice photo. This one's really nice. How does this make you feel?
confusion. Just where the hell am I?
That
How
is
did I get
exactly
here?
what I was going for.
Like where am I? How did I
Where
get
the
here?
fuck am I? Just looking out on the sea of his back rooms. Like, where am I? Again, a
I'm so-
common thing you'll notice is that every single time I position my camera, I'm on to the side. You divide this into thirds, and
and
divide
you're
it
on.
into thirds, and the main focus is always inside of one of those cubes. And that is what my teacher taught me. That is the rule of thirds. Your main focus is always going to be inside of one of those chunks.
Yeah, like you either take a photo in the middle, the left or the right. It's not like left and right, right and left, or like taking the
Your
whole.
your your peak is going to be here, 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 or just in general sections. The middle is not actually all that good.
Yeah, I mean, unless you go for like a front view, like looking like small person looking up at something, the middle isn't actually going to be as good.
Here's another photo I took of my boyfriend. Just to put in perspective how fucking tiny he was. That's a lamp.
Uh, that's a lamp. Oh my
That is a wall lamp. That is like the size of a desk lamp.
miniature.
Little guy. But as you can see, I'm still following that rule of thirds. He's in the top corner frame, but your eyes still follow him because there's nothing there to do but look at him.
Nothing else to look at except for the little guy.
Again, another case of me framing this. Again, this is
Hmm.
just a picture of Pest and Poop cuddling because I thought it would be cute. Um,
Yes, sirree. Oh my god,
Pest
what if
would
I
never actually do that, but whatever.
They would never do that, but it's still
They would
cute.
never. They would never.
I
Anyway, that
idolize
is
it.
all of the photos.
It's fine. Cool.
Best viewers on something. Oh well, that's. I think that's a. I think that's a bot. I think that's a scamming bot.
Which
Oh
was
well.
no, I'm gonna
Thank
see.
you for looking at my pictures presentation. I can't wait to present it to my class, even though my teacher has not had me present it to class yet. But that's okay.
Oh
I can't
boy.
fucking wait. I can't fucking wait to ramble about images. Thank you for giving me practice. Rah!